are like a dried and hard twig. They can be broken easily. People with passive ego are like a fresh and green twig. Each time their ego is hit, they bend but don't break. Their ego is so well safeguarded that it becomes difficult to deal with it. Actually, they work very hard to safeguard it, but in a sweet and passive way. Passive ego is more dangerous than active ego. For example, you are now with me in this class. So many questions must be arising in you. But do you spontaneously voice all of them? No. You manipulate them inside yourself and finally repress them. You manipulate because you fear that you will appear foolish asking questions. You don't want to appear foolish and so you don't ask. You are shielding your ego. If your questions dissolve in my presence, it is a different matter. But it is not the case here. You care so much for others' reactions and opinions towards you. You cannot bear to suffer a dent on your ego that you have nurtured so carefully all these years. This ego is your very anchor point. If that is jolted, you will feel anchorless. So under the pretext of being submissive, you keep quiet. You miss one more opportunity of exposing your ego in the Master's presence. You miss one more opportunity in taking a step towards flowering. Let me tell you one thing. All questions are foolish at the end of the day. Don't for a moment think that some questions and therefore some questioners are wiser than the rest. When deep understanding happens, the questions will dissolve on their own. This is real wisdom. Anyhow, we all play so cautiously to safeguard our ego. There is one more play of ego which we all nurture so well, what is called the social ego. What is social ego? You feel that your life is highly private to yourself and that no one should be let into it. For example, people come to me to discuss their child's erratic ways, but they are not comfortable when there are others around. You don't want others to know about these things because you have this built-up image in the eyes of society for yourself and your family members. If you let people in on your family matters, you feel like you are exposing your whole self to them. You are afraid that your whole image might come down crashing and that there will be nothing else to prop you up in society. This is social ego. The image that you have so painstakingly built, the image which has become the identity with which you identify yourself in society, is at stake. It is more of an identity for yourself than for others. If you can show yourself and your family just as you are, you'll be more relaxed because then there will be no pressure to cover up anything. Of course, you might say, Swamiji, the only reason we want to keep these things a secret is we don't want people to start gossiping about it. Let me tell you, no one is qualified to talk about another. If they talk, they are fools. Remember this, and automatically the power you give to them and their talk will simply disappear. It is you who has given them the power to affect you, is it not? Now that power will disappear. Just decide and live like an open book, that's all. By seeing your courage and body language, people will automatically understand that it is not going to help gossiping about you. I tell you, to drop your social ego and live without any privacy is a great liberation. Because of our social ego, we are all the time so self-conscious. We are self-conscious because we think that people are looking and talking about us all the time. Be very clear. When you are self-conscious, you are very egoistic. You think that you are a big entity and that everyone else's eyes are on you all the time. This is why you get self-conscious. If you thought that you were a nobody, would you be self-conscious? Only because you think you are a somebody, you are self-conscious. And on top of it, you think that you are exhibiting humility by being self-conscious. This is actually something that you don't know that you are suffering from. You don't even know you are suffering from this. You simply continue to think that you are only being modest and humble, and you continue being like that. When you become self-conscious, you are living and yet not living. It is like a barrier to your beauty and grace. Your beauty does not come forth freely because of this. Look at animals and nature. They flow so beautifully and freely. Why is it so? Because they are not self-conscious. They are simply happy just being one with existence. The moment you start thinking that people are watching you, ego has stepped in and you lose your natural self. Children are not as self-conscious as adults are. If you watch them play, you will see there will be so much of beauty and innocence in the whole thing. Even when you take pictures of yourself and others, you will notice that pictures taken without you being aware that you're being photographed look much better than the ones taken when you're asked to pose for the camera. The moment you are asked to pose, you become self-conscious. Your ego is afraid as to what people might say and dent it. The self-conscious ego is all the time calculating the pros and cons in everything. It is all the time weighing others' eyes and opinions and losing out on its own freedom. Even in our meditation classes, if you see, I tell you to tie your eyes with the eye bands before starting the meditation techniques. But what do you do first? You first see if the other people are tying their eyes properly. You are so self-conscious even inside the meditation hall. Some of you don't do the meditation properly because you are self-conscious of the volunteers and myself who have our eyes open. You simply do the meditation in a restrained fashion and end up losing the very purpose of having come to the meditation camp. When you stop calculating and start being innocent and open, you will be filled with wonder and freshness all the time. Life will never become dull and restrained for you. And one more thing, the innocent person never does any harm to anyone, because to do harm, you need to calculate. Even if they do harm unknowingly, people will not get hurt because they know that they didn't really mean it. Their very body language will speak out their innocence and stand by them. All right. Now let us move to another important form of ego, the ego that comes with knowledge.